This morning in the United States, we had some jobless claim numbers come out, which were very telling to the market. And today's going to be an action-packed day. I've got some ideas for you as we continue to press on into earnings season here in the United States, and we await the May meeting from the Federal Reserve. There's a lot of trades hot on the tape, so let's go ahead and jump in. So the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits rose by 5,000 to 245,000 last week, above market expectations of 240K. The result was in line with a batch of recent data that suggested some softening in the U.S. labor market following the aggressive rate hikes delivered by the Fed over the past months. Continuing jobless claims hit 1,865K, the highest since November 2021. So let's take a look quickly at what the charts are telling us this morning. So the first chart I wanted to go over with you guys was, of course, the US dollar, which reacted negatively to this news that came out this morning. And again, barely retested our zone of resistance here before finding sellers. This is a big deal because, again, unemployment claims coming out showing that the job market, the labor market here is sort of on the slowdown, is a very interesting thing for dollar bulls to have to address. Because of course, a labor market slowdown, what that means is that the economy is shrinking, and there are potentially, some cues there to the Fed that, okay, we need to pause rate hikes because, again, rate hikes tend to hurt the economy. They make borrowing more expensive, harder on businesses. When businesses are in more struggle, of course, that gets passed on to jobs, layoffs, that sort of thing. So the dollar seeing some weakness here, and in my opinion, watch for today. During the price action here as we get into the New York session, I'm watching for some sort of break of structure here for the dollar. Again, the dollar's been in a range. We mentioned this 102.15 level, the level of resistance, as you can see on the screen. What I'm watching for is some sort of breakout of this support level, though, which has held pretty stubbornly for the bulls the last few days amidst some of the hawkish comments that we have heard from the some members of the Federal Reserve. Despite that, I think that the dollar looks really interesting here, and if it breaks to the downside, it could offer some great trading opportunities. One of those, which would be probably my favorite scenario, would be actually looking for gold long setups. So we're looking right now at the 1 hour chart perspective of the gold market, but I actually want to go to the 4 hour because I think it's a very, very important chart to look at. So higher time frame, right? We've been in a nice upward trend for the gold market, and it's no secret that if you've been watching the channel, I've been pretty bullish on the gold market and waiting for an opportunity to get into a long trade. Now, in terms of getting into a long trade, what I'm looking at here is if we zoom in just a little bit more, this recent range that we've been stuck in, you can see sellers coming in around that 2010 mark, and then buyers stepping in around 1980. What I'm looking for here is a break of structure here to the upside. For those of you guys who are also watching gold, I'm watching for a breakout and potential retest of this area, looking for the idea to continue the trade. In terms of targets, where could we go? I think short term, potentially back to that 2045 mark, right? The previous high, looking left. But then, of course, I think we still, and I've said this multiple times, I think we're probably headed in the next couple months to retest the all-time highs, which happen to be around 2070. We hit those last year during the invasion of Ukraine by Russia. So something that I'm watching, of course, is the gold breakout and looking for that opportunity. If I do take that trade, you guys will see it inside of our Discord channel. And if you're not already inside of our Discord channel, this is what it looks like. So within the Discord, what we do is myself, Frank, and Ivan, our 3 traders here at A1 Trading, we share our trades in detail with full breakdowns and explanations. So if I take a trade, you'll see exactly why I'm taking that trade in depth, in detail, and alerted directly to your phone or to your desktop. If this is something that you think would be helpful to you, again, I share full breakdowns, the ideas behind my trades, why I'm taking them, etc. If that's something you think would be helpful to you to get notifications on, you can click the link down below in the description to check out the Discord channel there. Again, right now, we are actually, I've said this a couple times recently, we're ending our biggest sale of the year. We are currently doing 40% off of everything, the Discord, our software tools, all of that. If you're interested in getting access to that, the discount code YTVIP will get you 40% off the Discord channel. If that's something you're interested in, the link will be down below in the description for you to check out and get more information. Hope to meet some of you guys in the Discord. Definitely worth the price because, again, if you join us, you're going to be getting access to lots of trade alerts, a community that you can learn and grow with. And then, of course, you might save yourself a couple bucks if you learn some skills that again, better you in the markets in some way. So again, come join us if you're interested in that. Another trade that I'm actually interested, you saw it on the screen there just a second ago. I am currently back into a long trade on the S&P 500. Here is my trade on my broker Webull. You can see floating about $100 profit. Hasn't really moved too much from my entry, but I am looking for a continuation move on this recent bullish move that we've had going on the S&P. So again, we've seen a pretty good start to earnings, but this morning's dip, in my opinion, was a good opportunity to look for long setups. I'm looking for a move back up to the previous highs, of course, that we made just, I guess, a couple of days back. I'm looking for a move back up to that point, and from there, potentially even a break higher as we continue going into our earnings season. Let's do a chart markup here on TradingView, and you can see in terms of a support structure, you can kind of see where I'm at with this current trade entry. So this zone here of support is what I'm targeting here this morning. I just got into my trade. In terms of where I'm looking for this thing to go, if you're watching the S&P as well, we recently saw this high of 41.75 come into play. I still think that a big popular target on the higher time frames is a move up to 4,200 and 4,300, and we've kind of just been chugging along. I'll tell you what I'm looking for in terms of being an S&P bull. I'm expecting, as much of the market is, something impressive in earnings reports to continue to chug us higher. And with that, my stop loss is in place so that if this market does fall apart off of these support levels, I'm going to very quickly cut the trade and give up on the momentum that is not there. So I am, again, right now, this is a momentum trade for me. We've been trending up nicely. I'm looking at this as a possible discount in the continuation of this trend. If it doesn't, again, the idea is to stop out at a break of structure here. Again, this trade was shared inside of the Discord channel, and we'll keep an eye on the S&P to see how this trade progresses. On my channel, I'm not a big fan of hindsight bias, so when I take a trade, I share my thoughts, I share my wins and my losses here on this channel. And if you appreciate that, make sure to subscribe while you're here. Let's continue on. We'll take a look at some more markets here in terms of the euro. The euro stuck in a range, but trying here to actually break out. And in terms of the euro, before we take a look at the technical chart, I want to show you guys something on the Smart Money Tracker. And regular viewers, you already know where I'm going with this, but maybe for the newer people who are watching, the euro is actually one of the most heavily bought. Actually, it is the #1 in terms of position ratio from the COT data. What we're looking at right here on the screen, I know this is a lot, especially for new viewers. We're looking at what institutional traders are buying and selling. And how do we have that access? Well, it's because we have the COT report, which is a text file that gets published. We've taken that text file and then we've, of course, converted it into a easy to read chart for our users. My company, A1 Trading, we build software tools. This is how we do our stuff. We sell access to visualization tools that make things easier for traders. And right now, again, the euro on this list is the most longed currency of the list. Now the US dollar is the second, and then of course you have the pound, and then you have NZD, AUD, and CHF, CAD, and the biggest sell is the Japanese yen. Now, of course, this is for the currencies specifically. Of course, there are other things. We also mentioned gold a little bit. Gold very heavily bought by institutional traders. The euro here, though, I want to show you guys this. Let's focus in on the euro for a moment. You can see that the the long contracts here are very heavy. We have a big positioning to the upside there on the euro, the long contracts. Now this is the futures market that we're talking about. That's what the COT data tracks. Big interest in longs on the euro. with a big increase recently in the euro on the long side. Short contracts at 80,000, a much smaller number comparing the two positionings, and then also a decrease slightly in the latest short change in terms of positioning. So, you know, when I look at the euro, I'm leaning long biased on the euro. Now, I guess we have to also talk about its counterpart. Let's see what the US dollar's up to. Again, US dollar, very also proportionally long overall. But in terms of latest long and short, you can see a slight preference towards increasing in shorting the dollar from institutional. Now, these are big money plays. These are what the big boys and girls are doing. In terms of long contracts, we have a pretty substantial one, but also an increasing short position as well. So if I'm picking purely based off of the COT data in terms of following what smart money is up to, I would have a preference to the long side on the euro personally. What I'd be looking for in terms of a technical perspective with that would be breaks, retests, and looking for expansions back up to this 1.107. This is the previous high as we saw this a couple days back. So again, if I'm looking at this, what I'd be looking for today would be a strong green candle. If you get something like let's draw ourselves a green candle. If you get something like this, right, big, strong green candle coming in, you know, a Hulk-like candle coming into this, a pullback could actually be an interesting perspective for long continuations, right? And we talked about this on stream. This is what many traders would call a zone to zone, right? That's popular terminology, looking for just basically a bounce from this 1.098 up until that previous high. And if you're looking to trade something like that, of course, that's up to you. But for me, the euro is not necessarily my favorite currency pair, but of course, it's heavily requested on my channel, so I try and cover it as much as I can. Pound USD, so the pound has been very strong. I actually mentioned on my Twitter, if you guys don't follow me on Twitter, by the way, feel free to do that. My Twitter is @TraderNickFX. You know, watching for a bigger break on the highs. Yesterday, we had CPI numbers come out for the UK. And reason I mention that is because the CPI numbers were red hot, showing inflation very high in the UK. CPI numbers being hot like that signal that the Bank of England may stay hawkish for longer, causing some potential strength in the pound. So what I mentioned is that if we get some sort of breakout, I think the pound has room to continue, right? The pound actually looks, in my opinion, fundamentally bullish against the dollar, though there's some varying opinions when it comes to the dollar right now, probably keeping the pound against the dollar at bay. Now, of course, we also have pound yen, which in terms of a trading alert, in terms of currency pairs right now, this is probably one of my favorite currency pairs to the long side. We have this on the watch list tab as a possible buy setup here. You can see GBP, JPY, buy. Now, what this is doing is it's taking lots of different factors into account and combining them to build a score. If you guys want access to the EdgeFinder, by the way, we are ending our sale soon. So if you want access to this for 40% off, the link is down below in the description to get access. Or if you have questions or you want to chat with us about the discount or see if there's options, payment plans, that sort of thing, you can chat us directly on our website. We have a talk to, which will allow you to have a live chat with us. And this is what it looks like. You'll see it on your screen right now. You just hit this chat now button, and then you'll be able to have a conversation with one of my staff here in office. So if you're interested in getting the software, again, that is what we do. We build software tools for traders and try and make things a little bit easier for the retail trader, who I think is very under-equipped compared to professional traders out there. So that is kind of our mission in terms of the software side. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Hey, guess what? I just found a video made just for you. Click this video to help with your trading, and thanks for watching.